Welcome back. So far we have already made our first value stream map based on our current state. We saw some fundamental problems with mass production where each process operates as an isolated island, producing and pushing product according to the schedules it receives from the production planning department. This creates a lot of WIP and it must be handled, counted, stored, which is pure waste. So the value creating time for producing one product is pretty small, but the total time that a product spends getting through the plant is long. Now our target for the future state is something like where you can make your products in a complete continuous flow with the lead time short enough to allow production only to the confirmed orders. Now that's where a lean manufacturing teacher or a sensei can be a big help. But in case you do not have access to a teacher, you need not start from the scratch. You can begin with some established principles and guidelines that we are going to discuss in this lesson. Let's begin. Number 1. Produce to your tag time. Your actual cycle time must never exceed the tag time. Second, develop a continuous flow wherever possible. It will reduce inventory and thus reduce your lead time. But it is not always possible to achieve a continuous flow due to the process nature. Some processes are designed to be very fast, some are extremely slow, or are based on batch production. And that's the reason we have to send different production schedules to individual process sections, resulting in a push type of production. But there is a better way. Supermarkets. Yes, I'm talking about those large retail stores where we can walk around with a cart and buy all the items we need. These supermarkets work quite similar to a lean organization. First, the products are grouped into categories and every single product type is clearly marked or labeled. No one has to ask anyone to find a product. A great example of visualization. Secondly, it follows FIFO. As the customer picks item from the front of the row and the storekeepers fill the row from the rear side. Third and most important, it works on the pull system. The production, or in this case the refilling of the stock, is based on actual consumption. Let me explain. There is no planning department to predict what the consumers are going to buy tomorrow or day after tomorrow. So the procurement in a supermarket is not based on predictions or schedules. So on what basis they order? They simply take note of all the items they sell on a particular day, and then this list of items which consumers have bought becomes the production schedule or the refilling schedule for the next day. Nothing more, nothing less. Yes, of course, they have to initially decide the quantity of individual items based on their demand and supply, but it is a one-time job. Once done, you just have to replenish or refill what is taken out. So back to our point. We have discussed that there will be situations where continuous flow is not possible in our organization. An easy way out is to schedule these processes via an independent scheduling function. But a schedule is only an estimate of what the next process is going to need. Instead, we can install a pull system using a supermarket concept where the upstream process will produce not based on any schedule but on actual consumption. This is how we generally represent a supermarket in VSM. This symbol here is the supermarket with its open sides toward the supplying process and the closed side toward the customer process. The customer goes to the supermarket with the withdrawal Kanban, which is similar to a shopping list, take the required items from the shelves and then drop the shopping list in the supermarket. Now he can do that multiple times in a day. At the end of the day, the supplying process will collect all of these shopping lists and then use it as a production plan for the next day. In industries, a normal practice is to use bins with tags in place of a shopping list. So the customer approaches the supermarket with empty bins with tags, places those empty bins in the supermarket, and then picks up whatever material he needs and whenever he needs. At the end of the day, the supply process picks up all the empty bins and then replenishes whatever was there in those empty bins. It is that simple. And the beauty is you don't need to schedule the production for the supplying process ever. Of course, you have to decide the stock quantity of individual items initially, but once it is done, the production scheduling becomes automatic. Also, the WIP between supplying process and the customer process is fixed. And once the supermarket is full, that is, there is no empty bins or no Kanbans, the supplying process will stop production. And when there is an empty bin or the Kanban, the supplier process can produce as per the quantity mentioned on empty bin or the Kanban. So both the criteria of our pull system are met here. Supermarkets are a great tool, but before you decide to use any supermarket, make sure that you have introduced continuous flow across as many process steps as possible. Because no doubt the supermarkets eliminate the need of production scheduling, but they also create WIP between process steps. And it also requires extra material handling. That's all for this lesson. We will cover more lean tools in the next lesson. See you there.